Torch here. Alright, I got the engine in and mounted to the transmission. I just set the head on. I didn't bolt it down yet. Best way I'm telling you that I could figure to do this, because of those back bolts on the head, because if you put the head on before you put the block in to the Jeep, you can't get at those back bolts. So what I did is I had just the engine block on the shop crane and pulled it up to the transmission there. I had a jack underneath the transmission, and I had to jack it up and down and move it sideways here and there, but that's about the only way you can get at those bolts. And also what I did is I did not put the motor mounts in yet. That way I could drop the engine down lower, because if you remember, when I took it out I had to do that just to unbolt the transmission. So I got a nice hunk of 4x4 wood there sitting on the cross member, resting on the oil pan, holding it in place. So now I am going to put the head bolts in and torque them down. So I will show you that. And here is the tightening sequence. You see, you start in the middle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and 14. So now, one other thing to note too is that this number 11 here, you have to put some sealant on that bolt, because that goes into by the water pump, and if you don't seal that bolt, there's a good chance you can have a leak. So you gotta make sure you put sealant on that bolt before you put it in. Also, it says here too, to install the cylinder head, there's the torque settings. Number 11 must be coated with Loctite 592 sealant. I don't know if it has to be Loctite 592, but I think any old good high temperature gasket sealer should work. That's what I'm going to use anyway. But anyway, you can see, tighten all bolts at 22, tighten them to 45, then retighten them to 45, which I take it you loosen them and then retighten them. Tighten bolts 1 through 10 in sequence to 110 foot-pounds, and then tighten bolt 11, which will be the one that you have that sealant on. You only go up to 100 on that one. And I kind of figured out why, is because that bolt is a little bit shorter and it doesn't really grab into the threads all the way. It only goes in about maybe 4, maybe 5 threads. So that's probably why they want you to torque that one a little less, so you don't strip it out. And then tighten all bolts 12 through 14 to 110. So I'll leave this on here for you guys that want to watch this and read it, in case you got to pause the video here. So you can see this is straight out of the book. So then I'll also go back to this one and get better focus on those numbers. You can see which ones are what. Well, I guess I'll just point. I can't really, I'm not getting very good. Well, maybe. But you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. And this is the front of the engine. I don't know why, what's going on with my camera here. This is not coming out so clear. Anyway, so there you go, guys.